Welcome to Steve's Place. Anyway, I'm just testing this system out here tonight, and I'd like to cover a couple of items. Uh, for one, we're setting some pretty aggressive goals for 2022. It's been like we live in a dream world these days. You know, with the epidemic and everything, and we need to put it behind us and start moving forward. Uh, right now we're sitting at 1,400 subscribers on YouTube. My goal is to increase that up to 2,000 by the end of the month, 10,000 by the time of the conference. I think we can do that if we really go all out to do it, through the mail, through uh, a weekly broadcast perhaps, and of course, getting people to sign up for it when they sign up for the conference too. I'm working on a lot of things right now. I'm working on the like a directory for playlists. If you've been up to our site, you know what we have about 300 or 400 DVDs online at this point, and it's really for me anyway, it's kind of confusing to find what you're looking for. Uh, so right now, I am working on building a directory for conference, so you'll be able to go in and see all the different conferences we have available. You click on it and bring up that playlist. Uh, Once I get that done, then I'll be looking at perhaps some other things. But first, I'll have to shift gears and work on the magazine. Anyway, we have two types of viewers. Subscribers. Subscriptions are completely free. We are adding free videos up um, at the tune of two per day. And right now, like I say, we have hundreds of them up there, and we're putting up a lot of DVDs at one time. We'll put up 30 or 40 DVDs at a time, but we're only releasing two a day. Now, if you want to see them as soon as we put them up, become a member. Membership is like $10 a month, $9.95 a month, I think it is. And it gives access to everything we put up there immediately. And you may run across one that it may be a restricted video, which is a non-private one or a non-public one, which may be a video that we have been working on and have corrected it, and this would be the old version. We have to put it that way so we don't lose the counts, that we get, off of having our videos up there. When people view the video, you get credit for it and everything. We don't want to lose that credit. So if you want to support us, though, become a member. It's like $9.95 a month, and it really helps us out. And right now, we do have a call for papers out for the conference. I still have a couple of spaces. Today we added it looks like we have someone joining us, David Nadell. Anyway, what we're doing is we may have a Bork engine coming to the conference. This will be Sky Huddleston out of Missouri. We hope to have him on the air maybe in a couple of weeks from now. I can talk a little bit about the Bork engine. For those who don't know anything about the Bork engine, the Bork engine is a hydrogen engine. Designed to run off of hydrogen and everything. And Sky has actually built one of these, and I should have it at the conference. And that I think you're going to get a kick out of it. But we do need more speakers. I'm looking for new speakers, people who haven't really come to our conference before, because we like to get new people all the time. So anyway, The other thing I want to say here is our conference is coming up August 10th to 14th at the Crown Plaza. Uh, I'll be finalizing the contract with the Crown Plaza probably tomorrow, and then as soon as we can have people sign up there, I'll let you know. And now let me introduce David. David is our Albuquerque contact there. And do you have anything to add, David?
No, except for trying to get the biotech folks, hydrogen producers, to be a presenter, possibly a sponsor. So I'm working on that.
I did get a notice from them today, a response to your email, and they'll be in touch later. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's promising.
And then, for those who are watching this broadcast, we have extended our 35% discount for conference registrants until Monday, August 14th, which is Valentine's Day.
That's February 14th, Steve.
February 14th. So, yeah, I'm kind of nervous. This is the first time I've ever done this. So, bear with me. And I'm always looking for magazine articles. So if you know anyone who's a writer, I have them send us some magazine articles for possible publication in our magazine, which we'll be trying to get that out here in the first quarter. So anyway, and here comes Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hi, I'm shopping, unkempt. Just don't worry about me.
So anyway, this is our first time that we've ever done this, so bear with us. And where are you from, Tom?
Lake Jackson, Texas.
Lake Jackson.
It's south of Houston, about 50 miles.
Yeah, my daughter lives down in Houston.
Yeah, just south of Galveston as well.
Wow. So anyway, I'm trying to experiment a little bit here. So there you go. So I've never done this before, so bear with me on all of this.
All right.
Yeah. And there's all these new tools and everything they have here. And like I say, this is a totally new thing. We are adding more and more DVDs up on the YouTube channel. Have you been up there lately?
I'm swamped with a whole bunch of stuff right now, but I'm looking forward to it yet.
Is there any particular topics you're interested in?
Well, chemistry issues, particularly in the nanocarbon area. That's my bailiwick. No pun intended.
So you wouldn't happen to be Tom Bailey, would you?
Correct. Tom Bailey. Correct.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Tom. I'm Steve.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to, I have it on our schedule. Now, on your talk, on the carbon revolution there,
yeah,
is that geared towards energy or is that, how does that go?
In my opinion, a guy that developed what was an accidental discovery, it'll lead the renaissance for our world in all areas.
So,
but right now we're focused on health, and it's an incredible antioxidant. And also, we're in our later years right now, but it also is known to be an extremely good EMF attenuator. It'll, if you stick it in the microwave oven, it'll just glow bright, blinding light back at you. So it takes in microwave and spits out all frequencies of energy.
Wow.
And so it'll serve as a terrific Wi-Fi, 5G, whatever absorber. It'll also it makes great coatings, so it should do it should be a real relief to any people with concerns about EMP and solar flares. And that's just a starter.
Well, could you use this stuff as a coating for like on a telephone?
Oh yeah, yeah. You could blend it in either as a coating. You could put it on, or you could blend it in with the plastic pellets and mold it into whatever shape you want with your Faraday cage as part of the polymeric shield or fitting or covering.
Great.
I mean, uh, I'm not really ready. We've been given a gift, and we've tried to keep it undercover for quite a while. But now we have a vendor that's buying it for health purposes, so it's now somewhat out of the bag. So I'm kind of in that twilight zone of we don't want to make too much of it yet because we don't have the financial foundation yet to protect ourselves from predators.
Fuck me.
So we're trying to stay low key, and I don't know that much about your conference or your organization, but Glenn Fern suggested I give it a try. First, I was going to back out, but I still haven't passed it by my colleagues yet. I want to put the presentation together first, but they may want to make some changes. But it's high time we at least have some public exposure. We've already got it in the health arena with only one vendor. I'm also I'm the chief scientist, so I'm also very uh, attuned to improving production. So because I know this is just going to go out the roof, and we got to be able to make tons of it. And by the way, nobody can make nanocarbons in any kind of purity, sufficient purity in any kind of volume. So this is a breakthrough. I mean, just I've got to keep it under my hat, but this is one of those things that God just I don't know why he picked me, but everything I'd ever done in my chemistry career was important for pursuing this accidental discovery and understanding its chemistry, its potential, all of that sort of thing. So this is going to be dynamite. I mean, and y'all will be the first, unless for some reason my colleagues try to say, no, you can't do that. But I don't think they'll do that now that our stuff is out of the bag. But
So there's a lot of applications for that. I can see that, like even if you're looking at space travel and that, maybe something like that as a coating might help
yeah,
on the spacecraft would help shield them
oh yeah,
from radiation out and out of space,
Yeah, it exactly. There's all it's just uh, I'm kind of like the father bringing the child into the world, and it's kind of a messy ordeal. At least I'm not having to endure the labor pains, but
yeah.
but it's this is a spiritual thing. This was not everything that my little group and I are involved in. We keep saying, where's Murphy's Law? No, we don't have much of any Murphy's Law. It just slides right through. It's we don't plan it, it's planned for us. Just like your program. I never anticipated getting involved in your program, but your program's really. So I'm the real chemist. I'm a physical chemist that can keep me balanced as far as fundamental thermodynamic rules. But I look for more people, and I look to your organization being a bunch of people with a lot of curiosity, a lot of interest in the future. So I'm trying trying to get through the foundational principles as fast as I can, and yet not lose anybody as much as possible. And then I want to open it up to dreaming. What can we use this for? How can you look at this differently from just a organic chemist perspective? So that look at it as a great opportunity. So I'll probably bring. I have a friend that was a businessman in my town here that really goes with me wherever I go. So I want to bring him especially to room with me, and I hope he can get free entrance to my presentation as well.
Yeah, we'll take care of them. You know, I
Yeah,
think you're going to have a great time there. We do have like vendors, a lot of vendors there, but we also have a lot of people with just demonstrations, that they bring along because they want to show and talk to people about it. Every
Yeah.
morning, we have a buffet for breakfast, and then we have in the evening we have like some
Social
food.
hour.
Huh?
Yeah, it's social.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have some good food like fried chicken, pizza bar, taco bars, and that kind of stuff, and you can meet people and talk to them all night long.
Yeah, that sounds great. Also, my friend I'm going to bring along, he'll probably bring some of. We have a big time vendor representing our product, but we're going to be selling our product ourselves. So he'll probably bring a bunch of samples along too that people can purchase. And I don't know how you handle that, but this is early stage thinking. He knows I'm going up there. Some of the others don't yet, but so he may have some stuff to sell there as well. I don't know how you want to handle that, but
Just have him get hold of me, because we have vendor tables and that,
he,
and
he might want to he might want to set up a vendor table. We'll have to
yeah,
see. Yeah.
vendors really help us make this conference happen. And we also have some sponsors every now. We have a couple of sponsors. I hope to get those there.
Yeah. What's a sponsored speaker?
Pardon?
I noticed in your email that you noted there are only 16 sponsored speakers. Uh, what's a sponsored speaker?
Sponsored speaker. I'd have to look at the email, but we have like four sponsored speakers. Okay, in the evenings, I try to reserve those for our sponsors because those guys are the ones that kind of pay a
Yeah.
lot of their expenses there.
Yeah.
And plus, I want them to be the big draw too.
Okay, so that's probably what your sponsored speakers are. Those
Yeah,
special evenings. Okay, gotcha.
I know. Oh, I know what it might be because our sponsor speakers are the ones we pay the hotel rooms for. You know.
Okay, so I'm one of those. Okay, great.
Yeah,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
and I like our hotel. We just been at this will be about our third year at this hotel, uh, and they're pretty lenient, and they go all out to help us. I mean, we have basically just about all their banquet space on one level utilized,
Wow.
and sometimes they have a basement. Uh, it used to be a nightclub, and we'll even have to use that from time to time. But it's a really big place, and and the people are great.
Now, I have a number of nephews. Well, I have 3 nephews living in the area. Actually, yeah, maybe 2 primarily. And I'm hoping they might be able to get in to see my talk, but I don't know if they'll be able to make it. But
Well, we talk about that later.
yeah,
Right now, this is kind of like a broadcast here.
yeah, okay,
So, but we have a teens our free program. So we're looking for like I said, we're looking for young people to come, and so we have like a teens are free, and
yeah, I saw that.
and I'm pretty lenient on teens. I mean, if you're like 21 still going to school, well, I'll count that as a teen.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think that's proper. And
that,
what you want to attract younger people. That's what we want in our company as well. We old men may know a lot, but man, we got to start passing things on.
Well, it's hard to find people interested in science and technology these days. You know,
Yeah.
everybody wants to get all the big bucks. They don't, without doing a lot of the groundwork that's necessary. And no one wants to be a volunteer. And I grew up. I'd go to work as a dishwasher. I went to work early, about an hour every day, just so I could learn how to cook. So that when that job opening came, they hired me right for that job.
Yeah.
Because I knew everything.
Yeah.
But
One
you
of
were
the
a
things,
go-getter.
yeah, Tom, one of the things we're trying to do is get younger people and widen the demographic. Um, but unfortunately, the conference is always before the school session, so it's hard to even get some of the college kids, local ones, involved. But we do advertise on the campuses, both at University of New Mexico and the New Mexico Community College in Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be great to find a way to tap into. But you're right. Today's world has been corrupted to where people think all they want is make money. And I'm all the work I've done on this nanocarbon thing is just based on incentive stock. I don't get paid at all. So except for incentive stock. So I do it out of love of technology and just the beauty of what I'm working on, Dave. It'd be great that more people could find that kind of burn and not be controlled by the moneyed interests.
Well, the many interests are always going to be there.
Yeah.
What we have to do is learn how to harness that. For us, we used to do a pretty good job of it, but since about the '70s, when they start paying all these upper level management these millions of dollars and everything, they kind of lost track of that, and all of a sudden it's become chasing the money and not putting out a good product.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but I am looking forward to our conference. I think that this can be a rebirth. We've had I've been doing this since 1984.
Wow.
Was my first Tesla conference in Colorado Springs. Yeah.
See, I got my PhD in Boulder, Colorado.
Boulder, University of Colorado.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then I went to Germany for a postdoc, and then I came back to Ohio State, then University of Minnesota. Then I started working for Dow Chemical in Midland, Michigan. Then, like about 3 years later, I settled in the Freeport, Texas area. Lake Jackson's the town I live in, near Freeport now. But I don't work for Dow anymore. I've gone through a whole lot of stuff, which has all been great for me in preparing me for this accidental discovery I've developed.
I got my degree in University of Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Colorado Springs. That's in Colorado
Yeah.
Springs. But I'm in Boulder. That's University of Colorado, the main University of Colorado. I did teach as a teaching assistant in Denver at the University of Colorado Denver Center when I was there. But yeah, so you lived in Colorado Springs, huh?
I lived in Colorado Springs almost 16 years. Yeah. When I was stationed at Fort Carson, I bought a house down there, and then I got out a couple years later, and just kind of stayed there. My last year I was in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I was with the Pershing missiles. The intermediate nuclear missiles are now illegal.
Huh.
That's what I worked on. So.
Wow. Yeah, we're done in all sorts of directions. That's why I'm a member of the Republic of Texas.
So, these days I try to stay away from the politics. I mean,
yep.
It's and try to stay focused on science and technology. I'm hoping to see that we can get some of our anti-gravity stuff out, because I believe that all this SpaceX and all this other stuff is really very limited thinking. I mean, I worked on the space shuttle back in the day, and I know when I was there, we built an extra space shuttle, and Lockheed and Rockwell and them never got permission from the government to go ahead and put it together, and because they wanted to build it themselves, and they could never get the approval for it. But I am sure that they have something even better out there based on anti-gravity, you know. And
Well, my material, you can look at it a number of different ways. I've because I'm an organic chemist, I've looked at it as a regular molecule, but really it's more than a regular molecule. If you just reduce it to the simplest form of a fullerene, that's what they call the buckyball, which is they've missed they've horribly messed up its understanding. I've got a whole new understanding of it, but it's got 60 carbons all in a sphere, and it's not a geodesic dome; it's a perfect sphere, different from what everybody thinks it is. And it's every carbon angle is identical. Each carbon is identical. Every carbon angle, every carbon length. It's I don't know if you know about benzene, but benzene was a stumbling block for organic chemists about 150 years ago. They couldn't figure it out, but it wound up each carbon was identical in the benzene ring, and the bond angles were identical, the bond lengths were identical, and the same thing applies to the buckyball. Now, the buckyball, therefore, to me, one way you could look at it is that it's 60 different nuclei. In other words, a dispersed nucleus, as opposed to what you see in normal chemistry of a nucleus with a bunch of electrons going around. We have a bunch of electrons going around 60 nuclei. So this could be looked upon as a new kind of world of chemistry where you have not a centralized nucleus uh, for in the case of atoms, but you have a dispersed nucleus of 60 different carbon nuclei. And there's a potential of, since you don't, so you wind up with a sphere of 60 carbons, you have a void in the middle, almost like a black hole. And who knows, as one thinks beyond the normal organic chemistry, and who knows what we might come up with as far as maybe anti-gravity or nuclear fusion or what. I really don't know. I'm just at the threshold, and that's the sort of thing I would like to draw out of the audience to think about, and maybe a few of them might want to work with me. So anyway, these are the things beyond, and that's why I like your conference. Uh, I could go out there and be the grand poopah and say, "Oh, I'm the guy that developed this technology and all," but that's not my interest. I don't want to be hair doctor professor. I want to just figure things out and move on. And your group sounds like that kind of group. And had I gone to an American Chemical Society conference or any other conference, it would have been hair professor this and that, and oh, did you see that? It just you lose the freedom of flexibility of thinking, and that's what caught my eye when Glenn Fern started telling me more about you guys. So I hope I'm right. I think I'm right, and I think this is just a ordained place for me to start sharing this with the world.
well, I think you're going to have a great time at the conference. Right now we're getting the process of putting even more videos up there. For the last 2 days here, I've been converting all the 98 conference DVDs. Tomorrow I start on the 99 conference DVDs, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm building some kind of directory because it does get kind of hard to take and um, find what you're looking for up there. So Glenn's done a great job of putting them into playlists and everything. Look, he has them by conference, and that's the way my directory is going to be based right at first be a conference. But he's also put them up by topic and by speaker, because some of our speakers have been speaking our conferences for years. You know.
Well, I anticipate coming back in subsequent years because this thing's going to go big time.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And like I say, for those who have just joined us, we have extended our conference registration 35% discount until Monday, which is Valentine's Day. And we are trying to get people to become members of the channel, on which you can be able to see everything we're putting up immediately as opposed to waiting, because we only release like 2 a day. And I have literally thousands of DVDs that we're going to be putting up there. And this is new I'm doing.
Wow,
and
that's going to be great.
I've been told, that I'm losing all this money and everything. Well, they're missing the point. The money is important.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because I have to pay the bills, I have to pay for this hotel. But even more important is getting the information out.
Correct.
And building upon, upon what we know. When I first started this in 1984, Nikola Tesla was worse than a 4-letter word in some colleges, and I was ridiculed, and but we put on some good solid science conferences, and we're moving on from there.
Yeah. You're doing
So,
sounds like. Glad I ran into you.
oh yeah. And the one thing about putting all these DVDs online and everything is, as I'm converting this stuff, it's like brings back memories,
Yeah.
And we had some times,
We're going to have more times ahead.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a great conference. I just know we're gonna have a great conference.
Yeah.
So, and it's you're gonna find it's like a family, and some people, this is kind of like a family reunion for them.
Yeah. That's neat, and especially in this world where we're they're constantly trying to divide us.
And I'm looking forward to it, and like I say, we still have a call for papers. I still gotta get some more speakers, we just don't take anyone, and and we're looking for people who have new ideas, unusual ideas, and ideas that you won't hear about in the regular media and everything.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like a world apart.
Kind of the way Tesla was.
Kind of like Tesla.
Yeah.
And not the car.
Right. Yeah.
I was here long before Elon was around.
Right.
We were doing Tesla.
Yeah.
So I used to have a museum up in Colorado Springs at one point.
Wow.
But life's journey takes you through some strange places.
Yeah, maybe I can learn more about Tesla while I'm there as well.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will. So, like I say, we are looking for young people. And anyway, I don't know if you've been watching these comments, on the bottom of the screen there, but Stephen Greer even spoke at our conference many years ago,
Uh-huh.
So we do get quite the crowd here, no telling who's going to be in the door.
Wow. I'm excited. I don't know. I don't even know how this works and who's listening to me, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, well, this is a learning. If you notice, the title is more testing. Because this is the first time I've done this, and I'm just trying to get used to the tools and that. And I'm thinking about doing a Sunday evening show. We used to have the Extraordinary Science Hour when I was with the Tesla Society, and it was Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, which is what this one is. and it seemed to work out pretty good. We were kind of like the lead into the Hours of the Times with the guy who wrote Behold a Pale Horse. So we were it was a pretty good spot for us, and being shortwave, it bounced all around the world.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
Well, I think we're going to attract people like that e-message or that text message I just saw, or that chat message uh, regarding national security. People way ahead of the time, like Tesla, that we know nothing about. I think your group and my topic is going to attract a lot of people that know a lot of stuff that the world doesn't yet know about.
talking about the world I don't know about. Our military has some pretty fantastic stuff out there. Like, for instance, they're talking about this airborne laser, it's supposed to be the hottest thing out there and everything. Well, we were playing with that in Albuquerque back in 1984, and as electrical engineering, we graduates, they were trying to lure us in to work for the military. And that's what they had. They had one of these airborne lasers there, and they just saw the refraction of the atmosphere. How the refraction, changes, the atmosphere changes, so you're trying to keep everything stable. And well, they figured out how to counter that. And that was back in '84, and they're acting like it's the hottest thing out there. Well, also at that time, the recruiters gave me a bunch of posters to hand out, and this was showing the aurora, And so I hand them all out, and it's kind of like, gee, Steve, and they come at me a couple of things and say, gee, Steve, do you still have those? And it's like, no, I hand them all out like yes. He goes, oh, those are classified, And I believe the aurora is the way they're probably getting up there right now. And it's probably a electromagnetic aircraft, and it's not relying upon like a rocket launch like all these other ones are. So anyway, it's just crazy out there.
Yeah. The world's all closed, and yet it's ready to be all opened. It's just we live in very unique and promising times, despite all of the darkness that surrounds us.
Well, the thing people need to do now is they need to start thinking about it August, because I think people right now, they're scared to spend money or something, and they're scared to plan for the future. Well, if you don't plan for the future, there is no future.
Correct.
And so that's a come. I'm encouraging all the people out here that are watching this, start planning to be there in August to our conference in Albuquerque. And it's August 10th to 14th. You can register now. You can give me a phone call to sign up, 520-463-1994, or go to my website. But I think you'd have a great time if you do go. And well, I know you will. I guarantee it. I haven't disappointed anybody yet, and we have a 35% discount the next couple of days. Tomorrow is my 49th anniversary when I went in the military. Yeah. You never forget when you do that day. Your life changes forever, And I just had a great time, So anyway, I think people just need to stop being afraid, and by the time the conference comes around, it's going to be. I feel it's going to be over. Like last year, we had our conference. It was great. Everything had died down. The hotel, the staff wore a mask. We didn't have to, and no one got sick. My biggest problem, was my friends who weren't there. They're getting hurt. So anyway, life is moving forward.
Yep.
And I'm moving forward, and I think everyone else here should move forward. We're going to have a great conference. and we cover like all types of topics. I just got a guy who's going to be bringing his Bork engine. And for those who are unfamiliar, a Bork engine is a hydrogen engine developed by Russell Bork back in the 20s and 30s. And in fact, he invented what they call a slip ring bearing, which allows the turbines on these aircraft to spin at speeds where they won't burn out, because that was a big problem in the 50s. These planes would be falling out of the sky and they couldn't figure it out, And what it was is that bearing failure. The bearings were turning so fast it had to burn them out, and so like I say, it's going to be a great conference. You can learn a lot there, and you see a lot, because we're more on we're looking for hardware, not hot air. That's our motto, and so we get a lot of guys who will come in, and they might not be a speaker, but they set up a table and show their stuff, So things just keep moving on, and
Yeah.
and the nice thing about what we're doing is we're bringing all these different ideas out and everything. I never believed that one size fits all on anything, a one size pair of socks, just don't really fit right, they're either too loose or too tight, and so that's just the way it is, everybody's different, like in the medical side, there's a lot of different approaches in that. Some are electromagnetic, some are, supplements and that, but it all boils down to is one size do not fit all because we're all different, and we're a culmination of our experiences over the time, so and we are going to try to get our magazine out, here in the next month here. I just gotta get a couple more articles done. It'd be nice if I'm more or less like a one-man show here, more or less. The reason we have the YouTube is because Glenn Fern, he's bound and determined to get me some kind of income flow here, and he come out and he start putting the YouTube. So what happens is, we just started doing it, and it's working out great. We got our first 1,000 within 2.5 months, and now we're at like about 1,400, and I expect hopefully by the end of next week to be at 1,500, if not 1,600. So we're just pushing forward with it, and we run on volunteers. Volunteers is what makes us different from everybody else. The people putting this conference together, and that they're not getting rich on it. In fact, a lot of us have lost a lot of money over the years because if there's a gap, we have to fill it. So we do. But yeah. So anyway, like I say, we have a lot of stuff to go. We have a lot of ground to cover in the future on that. I do hope that we are instrumental in helping get the anti-gravity stuff going. And I can see where the carbon stuff that you're bringing in, the bucket balls and all that, and the is going to play a vital part.
I think it will.
And they don't know all the answers.
No. They don't even have it down right from the get-go.
Yeah. So, but anyway, is there anything else? Anyone has a say or anything, or not tonight? I guess it's just you and me now because David dropped out on us. David Nadell, he's our Albuquerque point man.
Okay.
And he's helped us over the years, pull this thing off in Albuquerque. Albuquerque is a really nice place. It's easy to get to. They have bus, Amtrak, airport. I imagine you'll probably be driving.
Yeah. We don't want to do the airplane thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna hook you up with our video people. John Fiala, he lives down in Houston.
Oh,
So,
Huh.
uh, so it like I say, we're picking up more people every day. Yeah. One of the reasons we started the YouTube thing was to also get people introduced to our conference and hopefully build up our audience in that.
right.
Um, but I'm pretty excited. A lot of the conferences I normally go to got canceled this year. Well, for the past 2 years, it's just unbelievable. You know, unbelievable. And
Wow.
and the other conference I will be going to will be up in Idaho, and we'll have the guy who puts that together on in a future show. His name is Aaron. Aaron's an experimenter in his own right, and he has him in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and he has his at the Eagle Lodge. And so what I do is I just camp outside. I've set my little tent with books on it. Like one of those canopies, and just sell my books outside. Uh, where there's nice fresh air and everything, and it's kind of pleasant. That time of year, right around July 4th. But it's a long drive.
Yeah.
So, and I check, are you driving right now by any chance, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be driving out there. I
Yeah.
see there's somebody asked about thoughts on shungite. Yeah, there's some similarities, but shungite is mixed with minerals. It's not pure, whereas ours is absolutely pure. Uh, and that's the rarity. People don't make nanocarbons generally without some methods use transition metal catalyst, and they can't get rid of the catalyst. We don't have any impurities at all in our material. Uh, we are interested in learning more about shungite because it is sold in the marketplace. We we have a patent for a new allotrope of carbon, and uh, we don't know whether shungite is got some of that in it or not. It's it it's hard to say. It's just a carbon material that has some structure to it, like a fullerene, and there may be some aspects of our new allotrope associated with it, but it's not at all the same in purity or degree of electron delocalization and stuff. But nevertheless, it is still apparently, since Peter the Great, useful for health benefits. So uh, shungite is a somewhat of a starting point for understanding what I'm going to be, what I've run into and trying, working towards bringing to the world. But our stuff's far more pure. I mean, just far greater power and potential than just a mineral deposit. The minerals in the shungite, besides the carbon part, may be of some value as well. But you can always add minerals to some, or you can even mix the shungite with our stuff if there's some extra value in doing that. But our stuff is absolutely unique.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the conference and seeing some of the stuff that you're talking about. Um, I know I don't ever think Buckminster Fuller ever got his full due, on anything. It seems like when people come up with great ideas, if they're not accepted, like right away, people want to shove you in a closet or something, or if you're like Tesla and your ideas are so huge, that takes out entire industries, they want to get rid of you.
Well, that's one of my concerns too. and that's why I, I'm, I'm involved. I try to partake of uh, advanced health knowledge because I mean the medical world, of course, the COVID things to me is a total farce. But it really opens up the realization that the medical world isn't really out to help people. It's and the doctors may know a lot. I have two sons who are physicians, radiologists, and they know a lot and they can help for what they've studied for. But the insurance companies have put them all in a position where one doctor can only work in one area. He has to then come back and refer it back to your original doctor. None of them talk to each other, and they're all focused on pharmaceuticals. So I'm learning my own way of healing myself and taking care of myself, and that I think that's where people need to go. I think that's the change, the direction. There's a program I'm going through right now. Some Taiwanese guy came here as a teenager. He's they had a he gave us a little history today. I mean, there's 7 days of a program that teaches all sorts of stuff that you'll never hear from the doctors, and so I'm drawn to that kind of stuff because I mean the doctors mean well, but they just don't have it, and they've been so sold out to the pharmaceutical greed and the globalist and all. So I'm just I'm thankful there's still people out there. We have an internet that allows you to learn things besides just the company line, you know. So that's what I'm trying to do to keep myself well and healthy so I can continue doing what has been put on my plate.
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of like your conventional type of guy, and I do I believe in a lot of alternatives and that, but I just don't blind list anything, and I like to avoid the talk about the COVID stuff right now
Yeah.
and the in vaccines and that because right now these people on YouTube are so controlling. Uh,
Yeah.
they took down Horowitz's uh, presentation from 2008 because he was talking about vaccines and that. So I try to just avoid that topic.
Yeah.
And
I visited behind the Iron Curtain as a junior in college, and I went through Warsaw, then Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia, on up to Leningrad. At that time, it was called that. And I see they were better off even back then than what I'm seeing here with the censorship we have today. It just amazing that the turn of events that has transpired during my lifetime.
well, the big problem here, is I think we let these companies get too big, and I went to Korea, and I mean I was right there on the DMZ. I've been in parts of that DMZ that most people would never ever see because it's not like Pam Region or anything. I mean you were talking in the boonies, because after all I was infantry, and so we got to see things like right into to Korea, North Korea, and those people they're starving. They treat their people horrendously and everything.
Yeah.
And I can never understand why these people who escape, would want to go back there. But that's because um, things are never what they are. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, uh, things are getting changed. My worst nightmare is that this guy Kim, he's probably nuts enough to drop a nuclear bomb on us, and if he does that, all bets are off. But the problem is, everyone's so worried about the war right now, like with the Russians and everything, and it takes them away from the technical stuff that we do. Every time we go to do something, it seems like um, the military complex is getting in the way of it, and we end up fighting a war.
Well, I also lived as a kid in eighth grade. I took eighth and ninth grade together in Cairo, Egypt, and that was under Gamal Abdul Nasser.
Mhm.
And it was amazing how these dictators, whenever there are issues that start challenging them, they'll start a war. And that's how I look at what's going on in the Ukraine. Even the Ukraine prime minister says, "Hey, we don't have any problems with the Russians," and yet our our globalist military bunch keep pushing it. It just and it's because they realize people are starting to catch on what's going on, so they gotta distract them with a war or rumors of war. So that's the way I look at all of that.
Well, uh, do you know about this guy Edward Lee Scallinen? He's built the Coral Castle down in Florida.
No, you might want to email that to me. I wouldn't mind learning more.
Well, he was able to move these huge blocks, huge coral blocks that weigh tons. He's from Latvia,
Huh.
uh, one of these eastern countries, and no one's been able to figure out how he did that and everything. And we assume that he's probably using some kind of anti-gravity technology in that. So
When I was in Cairo, I was amazed by the pyramids, the Giza pyramids, and how perfect you couldn't even slide a knife between the stones. I mean, so yes, there's some things out there that we have no idea how they were done.
and here's Abraham here. He's talking about the Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not quite sure what he's saying here. His own hand was probably he's talking about the secret engineering handshake. The
Yeah.
right hand there. Remember when we were taking tests, and everyone would be sitting there, with the old hand and trying to figure out which way the current was going. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, it's the engineer's gang sign. We're a bunch of gangsters out here. Yeah,
The whole world's full of gangsters these
yeah.
days.
So yeah, but I got some material on that Lee's guy, and I'll have it at the conference. You know,
Okay.
he's quite that's quite the story, on the magnetic motors and that. And everything's going electric, but then you have like one of the speakers that I don't believe he's alive anymore, Dr. Malusky, and he was saying that that we're getting ready to go into a different part of the universe where electricity doesn't work, and you have to do everything by magnetism. You know, uh, he calls it a super light, is what he calls it. And we're so reliant on electrical, it's kind of scary. Everybody's putting their money in this cryptocurrency and everything. It's all a bunch of electrons. And the biggest problem with electrons and electricity is if the power generators stop working, nothing works. You can't even get gas.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's a kind of a dangerous thing here. Yeah. So,
You know, um, you're looking for more speakers, from what you say, and it just dawned on me there. I, I I don't know them directly, but I know them through somebody associated with my project. Uh, our material has been used. It has been injected into tumors,
mhm.
and then a microwave probe zaps the tumor, which is filled with our stuff, and it's a form of ablation for burning the tumor out. And the mice all lived. Uh, no, I think yeah, they were mice. They lived. We didn't even anticipate this was going to happen, but they lived like 3 to 5 times their normal life expectancy after the experiment. I mean, where they were on the on death row, with the tumor. Then the tumor went down overnight, and they lived 3 to 5 times what you'd expect of a nude mouse,
Ah,
a what do you call it, a limited immunity limited mouse. So these guys are back at it again, and they're pursuing this further, and it's involving the initial real inventors of the MRI.
Hmm.
And it's I could put out a feeler, see if they might want to give a presentation of the MRI and what they're pursuing now. I don't know if they're ready to do that, but that's a potential speaker for you as well.
well, you should put a feeler out, because even if it's not this year, there's,
Yeah.
you know, hopefully I got about another 20 years left in me.
Well, we're working on it, and if I can get my stuff into you, you might live another 100 years. Who knows? I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Well, as long as I'm healthy.
that's
I
the
don't, I
key
don't
thing.
think I'd want to be a vegetable.
Well, the mice that we ourselves have discovered through not injection studies, but through ingestion studies, they would eat their regular food with our stuff in it, and they experienced the same increase in longevity as the ones that had had the injection. And of course, we had a control where they weren't hit with the microwave energy, and they lived 3 to 5 times. Well, there was only one of them, but I mean, there's a lot of work yet to do. But they lived an extended lifespan as well. But the uh, the mice that were subsequently studied through the ingestion program, they were on the spin wheel, whatever, the treadmill, till the day they died. Just full of energy. And then you'd look over into the other cage, the control, and we had like 3 different things going on, but the control was just sitting there sleeping all the time. And then they'd die after 6 months to a year, and then they'd replace them. And they had to replace those mice 2, 3, 4 times before the ones taking our stuff in their food finally kicked the bucket. So now we're not starting young. We're pretty far along already, but I'm hoping we'll be able to catch up a bit. There's
Well,
a
that's
yeah, there's a lot
that's
of things
maybe
learning in my health pursuits as well that should help as well. Go ahead.
well, that just means that we don't have to start from scratch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of learning there, over the years. But this sounds like a monatomic gold. You ever heard of a guy by the name of David Hudson? And he was talking about something like this with the gold, where it's a monatomic form of it, and that you ingest it. It's supposed to uh, do miraculous things and everything. But you know, this sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's
The Ormus people, that's the other thing they call it, Ormus.
yeah.
To be,
There was a master plumber that told me about this thing. Saying we have a little project we're working on. I think we could use a chemist, and I just it's through him that everything came into play, and he's part of Glenn Fern's group as well. So it's just amazing how these things materialize, and to us, it's obviously. Inescapably divine appointment. I mean, just amazing the stuff that we're opening up. And you're talking to a chemist that pretty much kind of like Abraham giving up on having children. I was far enough along in age. I thought, I'll never do anything in chemistry again. Just you don't ever call quit. It's,
Yeah.
it's always something waiting for you.
Be like the frog who's choking that bird,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Don't ever give up. Yeah, we got too much to do ahead of us,
Yes, we have a responsibility to stay alive.
Yeah. Well, I think when my time comes, they'll come, There's times I should have been dead and I'm still here,
Yeah. As long as we can be used, I'm hoping we could stick around,
Yeah, and for those of you who are just joining us, if you're not a subscriber, I ask that you go up and hit the subscription button. It's free, and it helps us out a lot. The more subscribers we have, the better YouTube looks at us, and the more they're apt to recommend these videos that we put up there. And so, if you get the chance, you watch one, you like it, be sure to hit the thumbs up. That's how the search engines recommend, like if you look on YouTube and you see all these videos on the side, they're all recommended by that thumbs up. And we also encourage people to become members. It's a way of supporting us. It's like members get to see everything right away on the exclusive videos, and it really helps us out, And it's like $9 a month, $9.99 or something like that. And it really helps us out, cover our expenses and that. And these days, I'm a Social Security guy, It's the way I live, I survive thanks to Social Security. Back in my younger days, I worked very hard as an engineer, and that really helped us. Helps us now. So anyway, I'm looking forward to another year. We're going to probably try to do this on a Sunday, I like people's comments on Sunday, Sunday at 6. See what you guys think. If that's a good time for you, that'd be 6 Pacific. I gotta be sure about that. People in Alaska, that's like I think 4 p.m. for them, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. So we're kind of like trying to get in between so we catch everybody at a decent time. Could probably go with 7, and that wouldn't be too late. But this is important stuff. We'll be having guests in the future. Maybe I can get Marco Roden to come on here pretty soon. He just come out with a new book. So anyway, it's been a pretty good night, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure my wife is wanting me to get on home, so I'm going to have to bow out here shortly.
Okay, then I gotta get going here. We've been on here for about an hour, and that should be about. I don't know. That's a good time for a show, I think.
I think you did well. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being on here. Okay.
Well, I didn't even know I just pressed a button. All of a sudden, I'm on something. So I don't even know what I'm on, But apparently, it's bigger than I initially thought it would be.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a new thing for us. This is the first time I've ever done this. I did it for about 30 seconds the other day. But I think this is going to be a pretty good venue to get to know people and to let people know about us and get people to sign up for the conference and get people to check out the YouTubes and all, because we are putting up a bunch up there. I know Glenn works on that stuff about every night, it seems like. He's always working on there.
He's always busy.
Yeah. And and I've known him 30 years.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
The worst thing about being our age, is that we lose a lot of friends.
I've noticed that myself.
And it's
very
at the point now.
Yeah.
First thing I do if I get up in the morning, go look at the obituary and see if I'm in there.
Yeah. It's That's why we got to get this to the young people ASAP.
Yeah. And if there's any young guys out there, I know there are, get a hold of me, 520-463-1994, and get involved with us. We could use the help, we need some young blood here,
Yes,
we're
definitely.
getting the old tired blood. Well, I'm not tired yet, but I'm getting there.
If the young people had any idea of what lies ahead, they would be jumping on this thing. I hope a lot of people, maybe even my talking today on this show, maybe that will spur some people to come, particularly from the younger set, to find out that there really is something pretty exciting ahead. That all they've heard is just wear mask, distance from each other. You know, they need to know there's some great things ahead.
Well, there's a lot of great things ahead, and I don't know. Masks never bothered me. My whole family wore masks all their lives, uh, especially if you're working like in the coal mines or in the rock quarries and that. I mean,
Yeah,
I know a lot of people dying from like lime lung and black lung, and so everything has its purpose, but we don't want to get so fixated on it. We just stop living, you
yeah,
know.
that's
Uh,
right.
I mean, if you're going to go to Mars, you're going to be wearing one when you go outside.
By the way, one of the people that's worked in the production part of our project, where you're exposed a lot to our product, he has black lung disease. He worked in the coal mines. He's turned 80 now, and he's in great health. He's stronger than a 30-year-old, and I suspect it has a lot to do with his breathing in our material, and he's also taking it by ingestion.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be, but breathing problems. I mean, that's the worst way to go. I mean, I have to be on a CPAP machine at night, supplemented by oxygen. You know,
Yeah.
so breathing is an extremely important thing for me. You know,
Yeah.
and if that's the way to go, well,
Trespassing charges. This is the basis for why the building was.
it could be related, like to activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is a great clean for cleaning the air and everything.
Yeah.
So
Activate charcoal, right?
could be related to something like that.
Yeah. Carbon has a lot it can do for people.
Yeah. So, oh wow. Anyway, uh, tonight I'll probably start working on the 99 conference, getting those together. These old conferences, I mean, I'm looking at these, and it's the amazing thing is how much hair I had back then.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, and it was dark back then too.
dark, and it was reached down to my shoulders.
Right.
I mean, it was pretty
Yeah.
wild, and
Yeah.
and
We're
I'm looking
blessed.
at that, going, wow, how time flies.
Yeah, we're blessed to still be kicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
And
think
in my case,
yeah.
I'm very thankful to the VA because they take very good care of me. I have no complaints with them. Maybe they can up my Viagra prescription,
Yeah.
which I hear, by the way, is a great counter to Alzheimer's.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, that's what they're saying now. So,
Of course.
yeah, but the carbon sounds pretty good too,
Oh, yeah, and of course, diabetes type 3, I understand, has a lot to do with mental dementia and stuff like that.
Well, I have type 2 right now where it's trying to hit me. But
Yeah, that's what I'm learning all about, how to live healthy, and one thing I'm learning today, just today in my course, that gluten has a lot more inflammation aspects to it than one realizes, including brain fog, that can leads to decline in your neural cells and eventually leads to the dementia, Alzheimer's, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things that you could be doing that you don't know you need to be doing. You don't realize how important certain things are because nobody talks about it and your doctors don't know about it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, because I have a very inquisitive doctor, and I tell him I like a lot of stuff that we do at our conference and that, and he's never heard of before. So I work pretty good. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night here.
That sounds good to me. Good
Yeah.
talking with y'all. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. Drive on off. Take care.
Okay, and thank you all for being participants and everything. I'll catch you guys on the flip flop. Maybe on Sunday I'll put out an email to everybody. You all take care.
Okay. Thank you. God bless.
Yes, you too.